Welcome back. Going into the second half here of Dropped Frames. We got more games to talk about. Zeke, where do you want to take us? Where do you want to begin?
Well, I think we should begin with the reason for the season.
Yeah, okay, I know where this is going. I'll pull up the VOD.
And I just want to know, JP, have you heard the good news?
I have indeed heard the good news. I have watched a speed run of the good news, actually, believe it or not.
Oh, have you already?
Yeah. And I'm up on the good stuff.
So I downloaded and chat voted on Indie Saturday for a little indie game based around someone you may have heard of, Jesus Christ. I played I Am Jesus Christ. It's the demo. It's not a full release yet. It is. Well, let me just read. I Am Jesus Christ Prologue. That's what it is. The prologue is a standalone game and the introduction to the full version of I Am Jesus Christ. Walk in the footsteps of Jesus in this incredible first-person retelling. So it's an FPR, not an FPS. It's a first-person retelling.
Right.
Of the story of Christ from birth to resurrection. Become the Messiah in I Am Jesus Christ. You can download the demo or the prologue for free right now if you want to, of course. And it is possibly the best game I've ever played.
Okay.
And no, I'm kidding. It's a Skyrim reskin. That's what it is.
I was going to say, Jesus Christ.
No.
Literally.
It's kind of a but not even Skyrim. More Oblivion. It's like Oblivion reskin. It's a first-person RPG where you start. It goes through the birth in words, and then you start playing the game once Jesus turns 30. And your first mission, of course, is to find John the Baptist and get baptized. So you walk around and you talk to John Follower, who guides you. His name is John Follower, as you can see. He guides you to where the followers of John the Baptist might be and stuff like that. You go to the market, and the market guy's like, I think I saw him, fucking around in the woods. You want to go find him? I think that's where he is. So you go find him, you get baptized. And then you fight Satan a little bit.
Really? That early on?
Or you fight it out after you get baptized. You learn to fight from, I'm guessing, an angel of the Lord who is represented by a glowing ball of light. And they teach you how to use your Jesus powers.
Should I put up spoiler warnings here? Like, are we? I mean,
do you need to point out spoilers for a 2,000-year-old game?
Maybe some people are real.
As long as you're not going to tell us like he dies or something. I mean,
yeah, that'd be wild if that was how this all ended.
Well, okay. The good part about this game is you do get one res in the game. Yeah, but the cooldown on the res is terrible. It's just awful.
It's godly.
It's a 3-day res.
No, it's godly.
3-day cooldown. So you go to this like the plane of battle. Yeah, you get Bible quotes throughout. You go to the plane of battle where the glowing orb teaches you how to use your Jesus powers, which consist of a repelling hand, which the glowing orb sends like these dark bolts at you, and you have to time it. And you had the glowing hand, and you throw them back at the angel who's training you.
I remember reading about that in the Bible.
Yeah, everyone.
And she dodges it
verse
because the angel dodges the bolts you reflect at her because she's too far away. Your other Jesus power is the power of, I don't want to say sucking, but like tractor beaming. I would say you tractor beam the alien angel, you tractor beam the angel in, and then it's harder for them to dodge the bolts you reflect. And then, she teaches you these things, and then after she teaches, you do a few training, you get to fight a glowing purple orb, which is actually Satan trying to tempt you on your, I think 37th day out in the desert with no food or water. Which, you know, that's actually a story in the Bible. You know, you fast for 40 days. But on the 37th day,
follower during all this. I thought it was your bro.
No. John Follower just tells you where John the Baptist is. Nobody fights with you. There's no team.
No.
It's Jesus and Jesus alone.
There's no
unless you count God, which is, you know, it's a pretty big teammate.
I mean, it's the Holy Spirit. You know, it's the whole.
But then
thing.
again,
It's
you
the
are
trio.
God.
Well, I mean, that's the whole basis of if you really want to get into it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to do a too deep dive on the lore of this game, because it's got a storied history. So just on the surface, let me just say, you fight Satan in the form of a purple glowing orb. You use your tractor beam and your deflect power to vanquish Satan, and that's about as far as I got.
Okay.
In the prologue. I'm not sure how much more there was.
Now,
But also there's a survival element.
oh,
On your way to John the Baptist, you get very hungry, so you have to stop and gather berries. Much like all the survivor games you've ever played, like Valheim or whatever. You have to gather berries along the way and feed yourself. So there is a survival element to this game.
great. Now,
Yeah.
Zeke, is the book better? Is this one of the classic cases of the book being better? Or is
No, I wouldn't say, like, for our kind of audience, I would say the video game is better.
okay?
The book, because I read the book, and it tends to get a little wordy, a little begat.
Yeah.
A little bit, and also
A
like
lot of begetting.
Yeah.
they
It's
take out
French.
all like
Everyone
a
knows
lot of the, you know, the characters that don't really matter a lot in the book, which is good. You know, like how they cut out like Goldberry and shit from the Lord of the Rings. Like, there's no Goldberry characters in the game, so it's really streamlined. It does have a lot of dialogue in it. Most of it is voice acted, though. Most of it is voice
Really?
acted, I will say. Yes.
Does Matthew Mercer play Jesus?
Jesus, as far as I know, does not. He's a silent protagonist.
Oh, God damn it. I
So,
shouldn't
I
say
mean,
that.
he's not a silent protagonist. He says "peace be with you" a lot, but only in text. He never talks. He never speaks. So, but you can run and you can jump, and you can pray,
As you
and
do.
yeah, you can't really like bless anyone yet, but maybe that's coming in some DLC. And then, in the middle, you can go over the Bible passages you found and have them read to you again. There they are, right there.
Great.
So in case you missed any of them, you can have, or you know, had to get up and go to the bathroom while they're reading, you can have them read to you one more time.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I heard it was like, I only saw a little bit of it. I heard it was the greatest story ever told. But, I mean, that remains to be seen. I mean, the game doesn't come out until, I want to say, Q3 of 2023. So.
Got it. Co, you were formulating a question, I believe?
Yeah, I was wondering, when Jesus prays, is that like calling your dad on the cell phone?
Well, I think he's talking to himself at that point, right?
No, it's more, no, you charge up your Jesus juice. So the tractor beam I talked about, it actually takes holy power. Oh. So there is a circle in the bottom right when you have the Jesus power that your tractor beaming, boom, and the circle goes down, and you have to stop and pray in the middle of the battle to refresh your Jesus power.
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
It's not even okay.
Yeah, Jesus power.
All right.
Yeah.
So Jesus was a Jedi. Well, I think it's more he was a wizard, because Jedis are wizards.
Yes.
Yeah. Just like Ryu from Street Fighter, wizard.
like how Sueno, straight from the Bible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Praying for more Jesus juice so he can use his tractor beam in combat.
Yeah. I'm excited to see how it plays out. I'm really optimistic.
I have Is it sacrilegious to charge for this game?
No, I
No,
think there's
no,
this
no.
whole
In the Bible,
no.
in the Bible, it says, "Pay unto Caesar what is Caesar's." So
Yeah, there's
pay
this-
unto
there's
Steam
this
what
whole-
is Steam's.
There's this whole thing in religion about rewarding the virtuous. So like if you're spreading the word,
Okay.
I mean that's one of the reasons like, you know, the
Look,
mega preachers
here's-
drive around in their $50 million jets and they get away with it. Like,
I think
there's-
what we need to
there's
do.
a whole
I'm gonna
thing.
next week we'll bring on a pastor or a preacher, whatever I can find, and we'll have them
No.
talk about the game. It'll be great.
Nope. No. Thanks.
You're not on board for that? What if
Not
I
on
get
board
the
with that.
Pope? There was one named
Oh
after
God.
me.
No. Thank you.
I have an inside connection with that. I can
Oh, look at that. I have to be off next week. That's crazy.
Dude,
weird.
when I
Weird.
found out like what JP stood for all those years ago, I was like, I have said your name so many times just growing up in church, because
Oh,
in a Catholic service there is a crowd recitation of like,
what
bless
the hell
this,
is
bless
happening on
bless
the
Anthony our
screen?
bishop and John Paul our pope.
Right. Yeah. I wasn't named after the Pope, but we do share the same name. I think I was
Oh, I
named.
thought your name.
Go ahead.
Wait, it's John Paul?
Yeah, that's what my family refers to me as.
I always thought it was Jesus Christ.
They also, every once in a blue moon, a couple of blue moons, they'll refer to me as that. Yeah.
Why
What
not?
was just happening on screen? Was that a baptism?
Yeah, I was getting baptized by John the Baptist.
Oh, all right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That how he
There he
got his
is.
name? Was his name John and then he baptizes you and then he becomes John the Baptist?
He was John the Baptist before he baptized me.
I mean, he still does other
He was-
baptisms. Yes. Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was he was the greatest man Jesus has ever known. He even says that. You're the greatest man I've ever known.
Wow.
What a
Mhm,
blessing to
mhm.
bestow.
Wow.
Yep.
Yo.
He was
great.
I like
baptizing
that.
people before me,
It was cool.
and he continued to baptize people after me. But he had the honor of baptizing God himself.
Is that like the only person that Jesus said like you're better like you're a super bro?
I think so.
Or did he just go around telling everyone that?
I got a pastor we can bring on and answer
Nope.
next week. Just let me
Nope.
know.
Nope.
Let me know.
Nope.
They're in demand on the next Sunday.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
I'm
Nope.
really wondering if they have to pay taxes on this
That's what I'm
On this-
saying. Like, where, like, is
in the U.S. at least.
I have a lot of questions about this game, but none of them are about the game. They're all about like, how does this work? Does anyone care? Like, is anyone writing the
Who are the developers?
Well, I
the
know there's a place
churches,
where you can find out
plural?
most of the answers if you don't have questions about the game, and it is Sunday.
It's true. Dude, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to go to church next on Christmas Day, and I'm going to
So,
think,
I-
what do
I
you
am
guys feel
Jesus
about
Christ
I am
prologue.
Jesus Christ?
From the makers of Moon Farming and Jungle House.
What if
I
he
didn't
gets
even look at the dev
DMCA'd by the
list.
church? Is that a real possibility? Can the church DMCA people for using?
I don't think the church owns Jesus Christ's canon.
Who owns the Bible? That's what I want to
think-
like.
I don't think anyone does.
Well,
I think
it
it's
would
Steve
be the.
Gutenberg.
Is it the Gutenberg resident that owns the IP? of
Oh,
the
apparently
Bible?
Chat does. Oh, that's interesting. Chat owns the IP to the Bible.
The Bible's public domain.
Who'd
Okay,
have thought?
but even like the like.
Oh, you're honestly asking? Yeah, the Bible's definitely public domain.
But what about like the King James version? That's like not owned by the King James. It's public domain.
It's public, yeah.
So what if you write a Bible but change a word and say this is my version of the Bible? Do I then own that version of the Bible?
I think so.
Is that how that works?
I'm pretty sure, like,
I don't
there's
think anyone
there's
is qualified to answer that question.
No, there's like the versions of the Bible, like the men's Bible, the
Yeah.
women's Bible,
Oh, there's
the
a ton.
children's
There's
Bible,
a ton. Yeah.
shit like that. I think those are copywritten.
Look, who knew this game was going to deliver such great questions and commentary? What are the reviews for this game like on Steam? I wonder, Zeke. Are they all just memey? Or is this like attracting, proper
No
Christians?
user reviews.
Oh,
mostly
really?
positive?
Wait, what is the name
71%
of the
of
game?
the
I am Jesus
I
Christ.
am Jesus Christ. 71% of the 419, almost 420. 71% found this game positive. The top review, thumbs up. Satan offered me cheat codes, proof that cheaters are going to hell. The number one downvoted comment is, I am literally Jesus Christ, but the game won't let me jump over a fence.
That's pretty good. I think Ko just stumbled upon what Ko, what'd you read? What did we find?
He's right. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were also reading the reviews. Got it. Fun stuff. So when's the full game ship? Zeke, did you already state as such? Because this is the demo.
It's not, there's no date, but it's Q2 2023.
Okay. Are you going to be visiting the full game? Is it?
Okay. Wait a second. Here's one of the reviews.
Okay.
I think Jesus was Bitcoin mining my PC. Thumbs up. It really makes you feel like the Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I am no longer an atheist. I see the light. I see the Lord. I am Jesus Christ. Half an hour on record. Thumbs up.
Pretty good.
It's pray to win.
That should be on the side of the box.
That should probably be the top one.
Yeah, that should
probably be the top one.
Box quote right there.
My Muslim
Some
PC
of these
is running
I
20
can't read
FPS
on
on
this
this
show.
game.
Oh boy. Okay. What was that, Zeke?
My Muslim PC is running 20 FPS on this game.
Jesus. So about what I expected then in the review section of I Am Jesus Christ.
One of the games of all time.
Naturally. I wonder. I just
Easy sub 30-minute speed run if you're into that.
That's what I watched a speed run of this. I think was it Moon doing speed runs of this or something like that?
Maybe.
I tuned in and he
parkour.
was,
Thumbs down.
Yeah. Wild stuff.
Yeah.
Jesus is a badass. Thumbs up.
The problem is there is a problem. The level cap is 34, unfortunately.
It's rough. Well,
So you can only gain 4 levels in the game.
Lord.
But then you get a prestige class after that.
Well, they're going to capture the COD audience with that for sure. That's right in their wheelhouse.
I'm sorry. You're right. Too soon. You're right.
What is like the full scope of this game though? Like, are they going to try to tell, like, is the end of this game the fucking crucifix? I can't even say the word. Is he going to get crucified at the end of this? Like what?
Yeah. From birth to resurrection.
Is that the tagline?
Yep.
Wild.
Yeah.
Okay. Press F.
Are they going to go Mel Gibson with it?
Yeah. I hope it's like.
Oh, I love this chick, this character model, lip ring. She had a lip stud. If you can see.
What?
Wait, what?
Sure, it's not a mole.
Yeah, it might be a mole.
I know it.
Okay.
Probably a mole, but it definitely looked like a lip stud.
Yeah. Jeez. All right. Well, that killed enough time. That's I Am Jesus Christ. Out for PC.
Yeah.
Or not out for PC. The demo. It's a demo, right?
The prologue.
Prologue. Yeah. You don't have to pay any money for this? Is that right?
Nope. It's free to play the prologue. I played 1.1 hours, it says, and I did not get to the end of the prologue, I don't think.
Okay.
Because I have been a good person in life and I didn't feel like I needed it anymore.
There you go. Chat, when you have to make the decision between Dark and Darker and I Am Jesus Christ, you know what to do. You know what to do.
And as Alto MDS said, it's free to play.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. Cool. What else you been playing?
Moving on. How do you follow Jesus, really?
Played Choo-Choo Charlie.
Hey, so did Zeke. You guys can both talk about that. I watched a little bit of that. That is a game. Where to begin with Choo-Choo Charlie? What did y'all think of it?
It was okay.
Yeah.
First thing out of the gate, I want to say $10. Come on.
That's all it
It's
is.
definitely not worth 20. Like, just for what you get and the hour, like how long the actual game is. I didn't do a completionist run, but I did finish it, and $20. Come on, even 15 would be pushing it for like a 2 hour ish, 2 to 3 hour game.
Oh, it's Choo-Choo Charles, not Charlie. Sorry.
Yeah, Choo-Choo Charles. Yeah. You want to start, Co? I just spent a whole bunch of time talking about Jesus.
Oh, you man.
Well, I mean,
I'm asking.
Very
please,
similar.
can you?
Very
Can you
similar
go?
games.
Sure,
here.
I absolutely
Choo-Choo Charles
can.
and I Am Jesus Christ.
Choo-Choo Charles is basically it's a game with light survival elements, very light upgrade elements, very questionable dialogue and voice acting, and the premise is that you're stuck on an island with a killer train, and you need to do a quest to destroy it. Essentially, the quests take you around the island. There's some side quests get you more weapons and such, and that's some very light stealth gameplay. But it is a very basic game. It feels and plays like a very low budget game, and it is a relatively short and sweet experience.
Yeah. No facial animations on the NPCs, so they're talking to you. They are voice acted, but no mouth movement.
Great.
Some of the characters you meet are pretty, they're funny, but they did a very good job with Choo-Choo Charles showing the trailers, because the thing that's super well designed and creepy and awesome is the train itself. Choo-Choo Charles is very, very well done. It's terrifying. Everything else in the game is just it's like you took characters from, like, and I keep going back to, but they're the things that are in my mind, like Morrowind, Oblivion. You took like character models from them, dressed them up in like farm clothes, and didn't make them their lips move, and then you took like whoever drew like the houses and the table and like the environment for Inscription. They made the tables and the wooden walls of the huts and houses and shit like that, because it's got that like you can see like the pen strokes or the pencil strokes and stuff like that in the wood and shit like that. So take the characters from a character model from Oblivion and take the art style of the deco from Inscription, and that's what you kind of get. And it's kind of a lame mess of like a game, other than the fucking train. The train fight and model is very, very cool. And they showed that a lot in the trailers, and I can see why now, because that is like the cool part of the game. I played all the way to the end because people were like, yeah, it's only like 2 hours, 3 hours. And I was like, well, shit, I'm going to play all the way in. And I did.
Yeah.
And you know how long I take to play games. I actually managed to finish it. You get like upgrades for your train. You can paint your train. Like, you find paint cans. You can get it green, purple, red, black, all that stuff. You can get a flamethrower, a rocket launcher, and a side-by-side 50 cal. It's like single fire, but like that. Upgrades for your train. You get these scraps and you do it. But the thing is, like, you find a lot of scraps, and you can pretty much upgrade your train. I didn't upgrade it completely, but there's only 3 upgrade skills, and it's weapon, speed, and armor. And I maxed out my speed and armor and got like 7 out of 10 for my I maxed out speed and gun, and I got 7 out of 10 for my armor. And I think the final encounter took me like 3 or 4 tries, something like that. So it's relatively short. It's definitely not worth the $20 if you're thinking about spending it. I would say, like, wait for a deep sale, like a 50% off sale, because it's not much. There's not much to it.
You got derailed. That's clever.
But honestly, like, I was so hopeful because I was like, that train is fucking creepy. I love it. Yeah. I hope it comes get you. But like, most of the time, it's a walking sim. You don't even have to worry about the train. So, yeah.
Choo-Choo Charlie.
I had my hopes up. I was kind of disappointed by it, but you know, it was fun for a couple hours.
Yeah.
I would have gladly recommended it if it was like $5.
Go, anything to add on Choo-Choo Charles?
Pretty much everything. Yeah, no, like everything's Zeke said. I mean, like it's very. It was weird because when I went into it, like the reviews were all very positive, so I was thinking maybe it was going to be like an indie gem kind of thing. But then I finished it and I was just kind of like, that was about 2.5 hours. I'm not getting back. Like,
But also, they don't like. There are like NPC enemies in the game. There are like wandering around dudes in masks that shoot at you and shit, and they don't give you a weapon. You just have to run away from them or hide from them, like stealth around them and shit. But if they notice you, they follow you to the ends of the fucking earth.
No leash.
Like they do not stop chasing you. So until you get back to your train, and then you can blast them with the train gun. But they don't give you any weapon of your own or anything like that. So if you're spotted, might as well just run. And that's what I did for the last, 30 minutes of the game, was just like run to the place that I needed to be, grab the item, take it to the central place, do the last fight. And I was just running around avoiding gunshots and shit like that from the NPCs. I died a couple times, but like if you get if you know like a decent route, I've heard speedruns of this game are 20 minutes.
If you know what you're doing.
I could see it. Yeah.
All right, Zeke. Big question. This or I Am Jesus Christ?
I Am Jesus Christ. It's free. And also,
if price wasn't a factor,
it'll save your soul.
Okay. Fair enough.
If price wasn't a factor, if they were both free?
If price wasn't a factor. Not necessarily both free.
And soul saving is not a factor.
It's true. And your soul's already been saved, or you don't mind if your soul is
all right. If you wanna like tip the scales like that, I guess I gotta give it to Choo-Choo Charlie.
There we go.
It's a better game than Jesus Christ. From Zeke's mouth to your ears.
Exactly. Quote me on that.
I probably want to say the whole name of the game, but okay.
Yeah. Let's do Charles. Some real just gangbuster games here at the end of the year. Just the quality stuff. Real game of the year material. Come on, what was that?
Someone asked, I don't understand why this game got this much attention.
It was the trailers, man.
The trailers were fucking creepy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like picture a very beloved character like Thomas the Tank Engine, and then give him fucking spider legs and an evil clown face, and that is a recipe for being terrified.
Yep. That's correct. Crisis Core. You want to talk that?
Sure.
What'd you think of Crisis Core?
It's a good-looking 14-year-old PSP game.
Yeah.
Yep. There's a lot about Crisis Core that is really cool, and it's fun to kind of get Zach's story again. And it's a remake.
Did you play the original?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a long time ago.
14 years ago.
I don't remember the story or anything. Yeah, but I did play it. It's a remake, so the graphics are this day and age. All the UI and interfaces look great. The combat system has been updated a little bit, and so it's got all the good parts of a remake. But just like the Demon's Souls remake, most of the actual content is nearly canon. So all of the really awkward dialogue that was clearly designed for like small windows and quick snippets is there. The level design, which is abysmal, is incredibly basic, is still there. It's like it's got all the cool looking flair of a new game, but it has all of the dated mechanics of a 10+ year old game. So it's been fun, and it's been kind of cool going through it, but really the only thing that's really driving me forward is, the combat's a little bit fun and engaging, but it just gets kind of spammy outside of the cool materia fusion stuff. And the story is it's Final Fantasy, man. And honestly, it's going to be important to know this stuff for the next Final Fantasy. Like,
Yeah.
there's no question. There's no question you're gonna wanna revisit this stuff.
And I
There's
never
important
played this,
characters.
so I know that there's
Oh,
a
yeah.
ton of story in it.
Yes, ton of
which is-
story, ton of
yeah.
characters. Yep. I mean, you get to like hang out with Sephiroth in this
Right.
game. You're literally just chilling with Sephiroth.
Yeah.
You know, having like actual conversations with him and stuff when he's not trying to slice you in half.
Yeah.
So that's
Mother.
what's kind of kept me going. Viewership has been abysmal for it, which I found pretty
Yeah.
interesting. I thought people would really want to like get caught up as well, but it has been surprisingly low for viewership. But still, I mean, it's story, it's Final Fantasy, and it's going to be important. So it's kind of on the back burner right now, but there's no question I'll return to it and keep playing it, at least to finish the main story.
It's like a 20, 30 hour game, right? Like there's length to
It's
it.
a long game.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't full disclosure, I haven't been spoiled and I don't want people to spoil me. I don't even know if it's going to end like the original Crisis Core. I don't know if they're going to do a Final Fantasy VII remake spin on it. Like I don't know what they're going to do with this game. So, you know, considering I've completely forgotten the main story outside of the iconic ending scene, it's been very cool to revisit it. Yeah. Yeah, you'll it's one of the ending for the 14 years ago was one of the more powerful endings of a video game.
It
just ever.
Okay, that's bold. That's bold, especially coming from you. I did not expect that. Wow. Yeah, now I kind of just want to Google the ending and see or play the 30 hours, I guess. All right. The idea that I need to play this though for like Remake 2, Part 2 or whatever later. Rebirth 2. That's next year, right? Like it's going to be important to play this, I would assume.
I think a lot of people are going to be playing this game right before Rebirth.
Yeah. I think there might be like
this remake was not that long ago, so and it's a very long game. So, you know, I'm probably going to replay Remake before Rebirth, but this is just to get all caught up on the story and more importantly see if they did any crazy remake stuff with it.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's going to be really important to know.
Yeah.
Can you point to a reason why it was tanking your viewership at all?
I think just because like the level design is so basic and honestly like the dialogue, you can tell it was written for like short, a tiny screen, short sentences, very quick quips. Like there's no expanded or like, you know, big dialogue in the scenes. And frankly, I feel like the company's learned a lot about making games since this was made.
Yeah.
And the basic dialogue is at times really painful. There's entire parts of this game that are really painful. Like there's at one point when you this isn't really a spoiler, but you go to a city area and I know. I'm going to take it a step further. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. I'm just going to come out and say it. You go to a city area and you get pickpocketed. And it's literally like 45 minutes of nothing as you just like do arbitrary stuff to track this kid down, going through like dumb cutscenes and completely meaningless actions.
They moved the flower pot in your way.
I literally, while I'm playing this game, I'm sitting here and I'm just like, this is boring. This sucks. Like I literally said, like, this sucks. Like I'm not having fun. This sucks.
Yeah.
And chat was like, yeah, we're all miserable too. So you know, it was boring. So you know, there's stuff like that in the game that, and unfortunately, it's from what I remember, it's totally canon. Like that's exactly what you do in the PSP version. So
it's games like this that I there's a part of me that appreciates because then I look at the audience and I go, you're the real fans. All those other fuckers can go screw.
Well,
I know who my core people are. Thick and thin.
I think I don't know because I only streamed the first hour of this for that sponsor thing like 3 weeks ago now. But for me, and I think a lot of people, you had to buy a PSP for this. It was never released on any other
PSP
platform.
Only. That's right.
So a lot of people just never have interacted with this game because it was closed off to a relatively small. I don't know how well the PSP sold, but not that many people.
Was never a Game Boy.
Yes, yes. It didn't have that giant of an audience, and so people that have played this are not. The numbers are not very high. So it might have just been spoiler purposes why people weren't watching. They don't want to spoil whatever the story is for this.
And I know I avoided PSP because it wasn't a cartridge system. Like it was a disc system, and that was just. I don't think that was a good idea, especially if you're gonna put shit in your pocket.
There's the mini
like,
disc, right? There's a small little disc.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna put it in your pocket and like it's gonna like get dirt and lint and shit in there. Like those plastic CD cases that they came in were like so flimsy and fragile they broke all the time.
Yeah. UMDs. That's right. The old UMDs.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, you're running around here in a city. That I will say the hour that I played, I totally agree with Code. The levels were bare bones, is
Incredibly basic.
Combat was generally fun though. The slot mechanic is a weird choice that was in the original, but I guess it was in the original, but it's kind of changed.
From what I understand, it's mostly the same.
Okay.
There's a lot of cool parts about the game. Like the combat is better in this version. It's a little bit more interactive, and they changed it up a little bit later in the game. But the materia fusion and stuff like that, which was pretty unique to this game, is also makes it kind of interesting to keep moving through everything. So those are probably the best parts of the game.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Cool.
It's been fun. Like I'm still enjoying it. I'm still playing it. It's just, it's definitely a dated product. It feels very dated.
Yeah.
What platform are you playing on right now?
PC.
Oh, you are? Okay. So do you think someone in my chat asked, it's a good question, would this be really good on Steam Deck?
100%. Yeah.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know if it runs well on Steam Deck.
I don't know if it runs well.
But if it does, I think it's like the perfect platform for it. It's the levels that I've experienced. Co can speak to if it stays the same for the amount.
Wow, people are confirming it runs really well on
nice.
Steam Deck.
I would expect it does. But yeah, the levels are. I mean, the game was designed for an on-the-go experience, right? It was designed for a PSP, so it would work, I think, great on a Steam Deck for sure. It essentially is just a larger and better PSP, really, at the end of the day. So makes sense. Cool. Crisis
Well,
Core.
if you want to like keep it in the JRPG space, I played a game that's on Game Pass for Indie Day called Chain to Echoes.
Sure, let's hear about it.
And first of all, it's on Game Pass, which is always a great thing. But second of all, this is a love letter to all of the 16-bit JRPGs that you may find familiar, like oh god, I'm blanking on like one of the best games of all time.
Chrono Trigger, Breath of Fire.
Chrono Trigger, thank you, Jesus Christ. I was like Cross Chaser? No, that's something else.
Chrono Cross.
Yeah.
No.
Chrono Cross, Chrono Trigger, all that shit. The thing about this is it does the JRPG justice. Like if you like JRPGs, it's a good example, like the battle and fighting, the system and stuff like that. But the main thing that really, really, like I was looking at it, I was like, oh god, it looks like it was made in RPG Maker. The thing that really sold it though in the preview was they show how fast the characters move in the overworld, and they do move that fast. Huge thing for JRPGs is getting to one place to the next as fast as possible. In this game, you move real fast. So
it's very Chrono Triggery for sure.
Yeah, that was always a barrier for me. Like when I was playing old JRPGs, like one square movement at a time. Like this, you actually run, which is very nice.
Yeah.
And the story is good. I didn't delve into it too much. Apparently the game is like 25-ish hours, something like that.
Okay. Show some combat.
But let's see. It says take up your sword, channel your magic, or board your mech. Chain Echoes is 16-bit SNES style RPG set in a fantasy world where dragons are as common as piloted mechanical something armor suits or something like that.
Okay.
But like that's you start with a very like truncated story, like a little cut down little bit of a story, bullet points, and then straight into like a boss battle. And I think that's the best way to do it. It's like get me right into a boss battle, and you're fighting in these mech suits in the air. It's you and a partner, and you're fighting against this boss fight, like right away.
Sounds like a 12-year-old JP's dream, Just in there.
And then you crash land and you have to like, you know, find your way back to your people and stuff like that. And then you do a little bit of that, fight another boss, then you transfer over to these two, Len and Ro, I think are their names. And they are the basic thing is they're all the lands are warring, and then the warring stopped, and they've been warring for like hundreds of years, and now all the lands are in peace, but the peace is like fake. It's like a subterfuge or something like that, or something evil going on underneath. And I think that's basically like
just like peace in today's world.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The through line of the story is to suss out who is using this piece for nefarious means and what it's going to end up becoming and stuff like that. So
is it the
it's
One
a pretty
Piece?
intriguing story. It's not One Piece.
Oh.
It's three piece because there's 3 lands.
Ah. Okay. Noted.
But yeah,
Noted.
there's
what why Chained Echoes? What is the significance of the name?
I do not know yet.
Huh. Okay.
Yep. I don't know. It's not Final Fantasy where they give you like a scroll of the like in the third age. It's like they give you 1 page of text and then you go around and talk to people, and talking to people like 1 line. It's like, oh, the other thing that's really, really fun in this game. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that in the first like sequence or whatever of you like being able to control your character and talk to whoever you want, you get to make choices of dialogue, and they actually affect shit later in the game. You talk to this guy, and in the airship you start in, and he's like, I got all this fucking dynamite. Fuck do I do with it? And you get like a choice of like, you should probably let someone else handle it, or I trust you, you can do it. And whatever you choose, not like 15 minutes later, it comes into effect in a real way for your characters.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So like your choices actually matter in this, and they can help or hinder you like pretty soon after that.
I wonder if that
So that was a really cool
like,
aspect.
I wonder if that helps with like multiple playthroughs or anything like that. When
Possibly.
when you brought the game up, a bunch of people in my chat were like, "Oh, that game's great. That game's fantastic." Yeah. So it seems to be pretty cool. It's on Game Pass, right?
I mean, yes, it's on Game Pass. And if you like the only hindrance, like the only couple of hindrances would be, do you like JRPGs? Do you like the 16-bit style? Other than that, it's a fucking awesome game. If you like both of those things, you're gonna love this game.
I'm actually in that game.
You're in Chained Echoes?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hilarious.
Your little voice?
No, I didn't beat it. I'm in it.
Yeah.
It was a backer reward. I was a backer.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
Is it spoiler?
No.
What how are you in the game?
It's little dude. His name is Ko. And if you run up and talk to him, he's like happy, helpful, respectful. It just like gives you a thumbs up. That's it. That's just a little cameo. I think there's a bunch of them in the game from backers.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't realize this was man, what a ride for those devs. Kickstarted successfully, it sounds like, and then straight into Game Pass. They're doing great. It's
I've heard nothing I've heard nothing but good things about the game.
Yeah.
I don't usually go in for JRPGs on Indie Day because they are typically they're pretty slow paced.
Yeah.
But with everything in this game, it jumps you right in. You move fast in the overworld, and everything like the first couple hours of the game, it's bang, like lots of stuff happening and battling and stuff like that. And it's not an overly complex battle system. There's a couple of I'm sure it probably gets more later, but it's a couple of different mechanics than maybe some other games you played, but nothing that is super complex or unfamiliar to JRPG players.
Yeah. What guy in my chat said the game does get kind of hard. So.
Oh, does it? Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's another thing. No, this will be speaking of Steam Deck from the last game, this would be a fucking wonderful Steam Deck game if you got it on Steam. But if you got it on Game Pass, then it's just a wonderful game.
Oh, there was a chatter who said, I can tell you why the game is called Chain Echoes if you'd like. And I said, sure, but we're going to purge the message immediately. So that's why that message was purged before someone clicks on that. I'm not going to say why, because it is spoiler story, I would assume.
Okay.
But yeah, that's cool. I'm kind of interested in checking this out. Can you buy it just straight up on Steam? Because I would play it on the Steam Deck, I would assume.
I believe you can. Let me just make sure so I'm not telling tales out of school.
Chad is saying yes.
Yep, $24.99. You want to buy it on Steam?
Might check it out. It might be a fun one to play on the plane. Although I'm assuming this is a 20 to 30 hour experience. I think you mentioned that?
That's what I heard. I heard
Yeah.
it's 25 give or take.
Okay. Cool. Chained Echoes. Looks good. I like the colors too. The game's really vibrant. Refreshing.
Yes. That good call on that. It's not, fucking brown scale, grayscale,
Yeah.
sepia fucking filter on everything. It actually has some life to it, which is something you don't realize you're noticing until you play a different game and you're like, oh, that other game was so much more fun to look at.
Sure. Cool. Chained Echoes.
Yeah. Oh, and there's secrets and stuff in there too. Like it makes you feel clever. Like if you go behind a tree or something and you're like, oh shit, there was a door behind the tree that was hidden. Oh, hey, that was pretty smart of me to go find that.
Yeah. Awesome. Rolling through the VODs here. Anything else?
I finished Evil West.
Worth the finish? Did the game deliver what you were looking for at the end? Throughout the end?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Evil West is frankly awesome. It flew like under so many people's radar. Like I think I'm the only person I know that played it. And but man, I had a good time from beginning to end. I had a good enough time to like play through it about 80% and then return to it weeks later and finish the last 20%. But it's a super over the top power fantasy, fun alt history Western game. And yeah, it's just a fun game. It was a lot of fun. I just had a great time with it. I had a great time.
Awesome. I was trying
I'm
to
very
find,
glad I went back and finished it.
You got 170 episodes of Valheim. I can't find Valheim.
Yeah, finished Valheim. That's another thing I did.
Quote unquote
95
finished
hours.
Valheim. Jesus.
Yeah, I didn't even finish my second base. I actually ended up just being like, I literally was like building my second base, and I just kind of looked up at the rafters and kind of in my head processed how much more work I had to do, and I was just like, you know what? I'm done. Just quit the game.
How many hours total on Steam for Valheim? Here's a little
total
bit of,
or okay.
yeah, just all in, because I know you did another playthrough already. Here's a little Evil West, by the way, if people want to see what the game looks like.
260 hours in Valheim.
Hey, 261, baby.
There you go.
Nice, dude. Nice.
There you go. Did they add a lot now that you got to like all the new content?
Oh,
the
yeah.
Update? It's good.
Tons of stuff. Whole new biome, new way to interact with it, brand new magic system. They changed some stuff with fishing. They added a bunch of new building stuff since I played. Like Valheim is such a special game. It is such a special game.
Yeah.
It's really just great. 10 of 10 would recommend to any survival fan. And it's not even done. Like they have more to go.
Still
it's
early
wild.
access, right? Like this.
Yeah. They have like a list of extra stuff they're putting in the game before it's done. So it's wild, man.
Did I don't know if you might have saw a conversation around it, but with the most recent update, did it hit the Steam charts again? Did it start selling well? You know, like did they get another resurgence of new users, new customers?
I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but I don't know if they like announced it or anything. I'm not sure.
Okay,
that's a good question.
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen higher level, non-entry level Evil West stuff. This game looks wild.
The game's wild, and you've got like a cross that stuns everyone, a flamethrower, a chain gun, a pistol that you can electrify, a long gun, you can warp all around like that. There's tons of warping. You can pull enemies to you. There's combos. There's like air combos. There's jugglers. There's a whole bunch of stuff I didn't even get. I just didn't get a bunch of the different perks and stuff you can get to figure out how you want to play the game. There's dodging. There's blocking. There's parrying. Like it really is. There's kicking to interrupt. You just saw it there. It's just a big game. It's a big power fantasy game.
Yeah, I was about to say
weak
this
point
looks
shooting,
power fantasy.
It's a lot of fun.
Cool.
It's a lot of fun.
That's Evil West and a dash of Valheim.
Mm-hmm.
Zeke, I know you messaged me let's not spend too long on it. How's Marvel Snap going for you? I gotta ask. Still snapping? I know we had we DM'd back and forth. I don't know if that killed your interest in the game.
No. It didn't. It has been relegated for me to like, one portion of my day.
Yeah.
It's not something I can go back to or I can sit there and play for hours at a time. It's just like, all right, do the dailies, do all if there's a weekly, finish up the weeklies, and then like, put it away for the day and come back to it same time next day. And there's, more challenges ready for you and shit like that. Which, I mean, I kind of want it to be a game that I want to play more. But like with no goals and no like rewards and shit, like I guess I could play to level up, but I don't have the cards to get there, and I don't have the collection level to
Are you
play.
in tier 3 yet? Pool 3?
I am at, let me see. 546.
So you're okay. So you're in the worst part of the game because you just got into pool 3 and you have no cards.
Yep.
So you're going to be fighting all the people with complete, meta decks, and you're not going to have any of that meta-ness. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and that's kind of the case. I'm running up against a lot of move decks.
Just play on the right side because they're always going to go left. That's the trick to move. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Good strat there. But I've been trying to like the thing is, it's so strange to me. I've been trying some of the meta decks that I can make.
Yeah.
And the deck that I made myself, win percentage wise, is a favorite, clearly better than like the meta decks that people are putting up. And I just like, I don't trust that I've made a good deck myself. I don't. Did I make this myself? Like, what the fuck? Or everybody's an idiot but me? But no, that can't be the case.
I think understanding the setups that a deck can allow for is more important than playing a meta deck. So, like, if you know the different combos that your deck can do and you prepare for that outright rather than playing the meta deck, you'll find more success, I feel.
Yeah.
But
it's a fun little time waster. Like, I probably play it for like, I don't know, half an hour to an hour every day.
I'm about the same.
Keep up with the dailies and shit. But like, there's a part of me that does want to get to the, try and get my rank up or whatever.
Yeah.
But also, there's a part of me that doesn't really care because the rewards are okay.
They're I mean, they're right.
You get like but it's so long in between rank rewards.
Every 10
like,
levels, which is 100
bother?
levels, 100 ticks or whatever. Yeah. 100 cubes.
And then like it's one of those things like, winning, losing doesn't matter as much, but it's still a fucking pain in the ass because it's 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. It's like, all right, I'm gonna go. I feel like I got this. Snap it. Surprise card. Son of a bitch. And then you're just playing along, and then the opponent snaps it, and you're like, that was stupid. Bow!
Yeah.
And you get it back, and it's just a tug of war.
I'm curious because we had Weed on a while back, and he was talking about how in Marvel Snap nothing feels good. Winning and losing feel kind of blah. Do you agree with that assessment?
It's definitely less than any other competitive games I'm familiar with, like TFT or Magic.
Yeah.
Like losing in TFT or Magic is heartbreaking and salt inducing, like huge piles of salt. This one, I can walk away like, you fucking idiot, and like, and walk away a little bit. But like,
or just
those other
games, right away.
It's exactly, because they take like 5 minutes per game.
Yeah.
It's super, super fast. And it's not like, it's not like you spent an hour thinking about the interactions between your decks and other decks like you would in Magic.
Right.
Like you're sitting there looking at your cards like, well, what if they play this? But what if they play that? Usually in Magic, it's like you have to think about 20 things that they could have in their deck. With Marvel Snap, it's like, do they have a Killmonger? I gotta have a counter for that one card.
Yeah.
That would crush my deck.
Yeah.
Having losing be as impactful make wins not as impactful. Is that a ratio?
A little bit. I think for me, it's honestly how fast the games are make it less impactful. Like there's no link, like because it's a 2 to 4 minute match. So there's no lingering feel good, feel bad moment. You just queue up again and get right to the next game. And I think that's why I'm able to play it so much, because there is no. I agree with Wheat's assessment that wins and losses are muted, and I think that is a boon to the game. I think that's a good aspect of the game.
Yeah,
because I'm able to just play for an hour, and I don't stop the game feeling like, man, I fucking hate this game, or man, this game's fucking great. It's like, cool, that was fun, did some stuff,
yeah.
And now I'm gonna go do something else and move on. Yeah.
A way I can equate it, personally, is it's the difference between playing in a poker tournament and playing at a local poker table. Like you're playing Snap at a local poker table with like a bunch of people just throwing chips around, having a good time.
Yeah.
At a tournament, you're sitting there like, I wonder if he's gonna call my bluff. If I go all in, will he do? And like that's Magic. Like I'm gonna go all in, and then he's gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this.
That does happen. I have had that begin to occur for me, because I'm able within one card to know exactly what deck the other person is playing, and I know how that deck will unfold on each turn through the game. And so I'm able to like, okay, I can set this up there. I know if I put like whatever over on this side, he's going to have to play on this side of the bullshit. And that I'm getting to that point where I almost have every card in pool 3. I think I'm like 3 cards out, and I have a fairly significant amount of pool 4 and pool 5 cards. So I can play pretty much every meta deck that exists, and also recognize them. But that's because I've played for, I don't know, 3,400 or 2,800 collection.
Yeah. No, it's getting there for me. So like turn 1 Sunspot, I'm like, okay, Infinite, got it.
Yeah, or like a lockjaw deck, like a casino deck, that type shit. Yeah. Anyways, that's Marvel Snap. I know you played. Every time you've brought this game up, Ko gets excited. I don't know if we talked about it. I know Ko maybe mentioned it. Signalis, you finally played it. How
played and beat Signalis.
What did you think? How are you feeling about it?
It's one of those games that doesn't really resolve itself. It leaves mystery. It leaves unanswered questions at the end of the game, which I totally dig. And also, and let me just preface this: just because something frustrates me doesn't mean I hate it. But that's a frustrating part. Like because we as feeling human beings, we want closure.
Yeah. And
if something doesn't give you closure, it's a frustrating feeling. But you appreciate it. Or you can learn to appreciate that, and I have definitely learned to appreciate like leaving me with like questions and mystery and stuff like that. It is a well-told story that definitely could use. Okay, feel free to chime in whenever you feel like it. But the thing that I found about Signalis that was a little bit, I don't know, maybe not frustrating, but like. Boring, I guess, would be the biggest thing I could say. It was like you have to backtrack a lot. You have to go through the same rooms over and over and over again. And that adds to the hours of the game, like artificial like time a boost for the how long it takes to complete a game. But the story is intriguing. It's if you're a sci-fi fan or like a fan of like Resident Evil style gameplay or stuff like that. It's like old it doesn't have tank controls, but it might as well.
Sure.
it relays to you a story in pieces that you discover as you go along. And it has all these, it leaves all these threads for you to either like have to accept that you'll never know where that thread goes, or they just make the thread longer sometimes. Sometimes you get a little wrap up on certain things, but for the main part, it's a discussion you have afterwards. And I love movies, games, series. Like you discuss ever like, but maybe it's this. Well, what about that part in the game? That makes you think that this happens. You're like, oh, right, that makes sense. Love those conversations. And any form of media that can do that is a pretty solid piece of media, in my opinion. And I had a blast playing it.
How long did it take you? I'm nervous
good
about
question. Let me
spoilers
see.
here.
It was.
If it was
It says 13 hours.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at one broadcast, 6.5 is what it says. So probably about 6 there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty concise game. You probably get it. Yeah, normal person, 11.
Okay.
Hours, maybe. How long did it take you, Co?
Let's take a look. 9.5.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
right in the 10-hour average kind of mark.
Yeah.
What did you think, Co?
I really enjoyed it. When I started it, I played the demo and I knew it was something kind of special. And then when I came back and played it through, I was sold on it from the beginning, pretty much. So I really enjoyed it. I loved the upgrade system. I loved it all the way to the end. I was kind of hoping for a bit more concreteness towards the end. But it was it was definitely a trip for sure. It was definitely a trip.
Yeah, is it just PC or is it on multiple platforms? Do you guys know?
Don't remember. I want to say just
Let me
PC.
find out.
It's on all of the things. Nintendo Switch,
There you
PS4, Xbox One, Series X,
Bada boom.
Series S, Windows.
Everything.
No PS5, funny enough. Although, couldn't you just download the PS4? I don't know how that works. It doesn't say PS5, at least on the platforms. So,
yeah.
No,
it's definitely one of those games that
it's on
could
Game Pass
definitely-
as well. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, cool. It's definitely one of those games that could be I could see being or if it isn't already like a cult classic, like a Blade Runner.
Sure.
Like it's really well done, and maybe going in you might be a little confused, but if you like that kind of feeling and you like that kind of environment, you'll really enjoy it. And I ended up really enjoying it.
Cool. That's Signalis. Last but not least, we saved it for the final 10 minutes of the show. Metal Gear Solid 4. You're done with it.
Oh, yes.
You didn't even add it to the games you wanted to be talking about, Zeke. That's how
I've
much.
been talking Metal Gear every week, man. I thought you might be sick of it. I didn't even put
Well,
it
no,
in
you
there.
finished 4. I tuned into the stream at the end just enough to see the bullshit. And you were thick in the bullshit, which was fun to watch. So, yeah. What overall, the positive experience, negative experience, a Kojima experience? How'd you feel?
Okay. Metal Gear Solid 4 was okay. First of all, it's a fun game.
Okay.
It's a Kojima game. It's fun. It was weird, absurd, all the things. However, it probably ranks the lowest on the first four Metal Gear Solid games.
Really?
And it's not like super low. It's not like far distant fourth, but it's definitely fourth because it is like there was some gameplay elements and charm that didn't make it into 4 that were in like 2 and 1, 2, and 3. The camo was cool and stuff like that, but it was just lacking, I guess. The story made more sense than most of them. And maybe that's a detraction, I guess. Like,
I mean, yeah, they definitely answered like all the questions and didn't leave anything up for interpretation in a bad
Oh,
way, I guess is how you could say that.
And that's another thing, like playing these games with people who are like mega fans is
Kind
can
of
be a little rough
exhausting.
at times. Yeah, it can be a little rough at times because I have trouble like remembering certain people and certain things, and like
Sure.
there's a lot. Metal Gear is a lot, and for those super fans who have played the game multiple times, they can get real
I believe the
fucking
word you're looking for is
snobby.
uppity. Uppity.
Defensive. Yeah, they get defensive
They
for
can get
sure.
they can get uppity about it. They can get like all this stuff. Like, so who is this character again? And you can just hear him like, oh, this is the character from the first game that you saw on the disc, and
Right.
then you saw, and then they mentioned it. Like they just mentioned this.
It's like me
I'm
with
like,
Marvel movies. I get it. I
fuck's
understand.
sake.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I can just tell like they're exhausted trying to explain it to me, and I'm like, then fucking stop. Like if I ask who someone is, can you please not let me hear you rolling your eyes from across the world? Because it is obvious. Ugh. So and in my defense, every
There's no
almost
defense.
every main character or NPC that you meet that has any voice lines has 3, sometimes 7 different names that they get called throughout the series. So
True.
forgive me if I mix up Solid and Solidus at some point. Forgive me if I call him Revolver Ocelot and not Liquid Ocelot or Liquid this or fucking Solid that. Like forgive me for that.
Pliskin,
And they don't. They
Snake,
just don't.
Old Snake,
Yeah.
all that shit. Yeah. Yeah. I get that.
Yep.
Well,
Well, see, I mean, that's cool and all, but I'd really appreciate if you could just do better.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of, I'm going to put spoiler stuff on if people are worried about that. What'd you think of the crawling hallway? It's like one of the, I don't even know what, it's just it was a big moment for me when you watch Snake crawl through and it's like kind of fucked up. I was curious if how you were going to respond to that, being that you played the games in like such a compact amount of time rather than spread out like I did over the course of my childhood essentially.
The microwave.
The microwaves hallway, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to know what my
the
thoughts
30-minute
were?
the 30-minute crawl forward hallway where things go really bad and it's not very nice to old Snake. Yeah.
I never appreciate any part of a game with prolonged mashing. That's fucking stupid. I hated the torture scene. I hated the fucking microwave hall. I hate that shit. Prolonged mashing should be outlawed in every fucking game.
Sure.
No matter if you have to mash it super fast or not. If you have to keep pressing a button for over, I'm gonna say over 30 seconds.
Yeah.
If you have to mash a button for over 30 seconds, get it out. Cut it out of your game. It's too long.
If I recall correctly, too, on harder difficulties, isn't it more mashing? Like, isn't it a harder mash on the harder difficulties?
The torture scene, I know for a fact, is more.
Yeah, I want to say that's the same here. I want to say on like the harder difficulties, my hand was cramping when I played this like years back, decades ago.
Yeah,
but
it was. I mean, the thing that I had that probably not a lot of people had when they played it their first time is I had kind of an idea of what to expect. Like the long ass cutscenes, anything that was like belabored, I was prepared for. So it did not bother me that certain things took 45 minutes, an hour, sometimes close to 2 hours, shit like that, because I was mentally prepared because people were like, oh, cutscenes, wait till you get to 4. And I'm like, okay, I get it.
yeah,
4 is going to be long. So I
said it
was,
enough times.
not surprised when shit took forever sometimes. So that hallway didn't phase me as much as I'm sure it did for people who play the game organically the first time.
Well, yeah, the gameplay frustration was less of a point, just like the My experience was that moment was incredibly sad to play through. I don't know. It doesn't sound like you experienced that at all.
See, and that's the thing. I'm not about to, I won't let anyone, and I'm not about to tell anyone how to enjoy anything, how to enjoy their medium, however they enjoy it is fine. But there are people who do not feel the same way, and we're like in the chat, like, oh, it's so sad, I'm crying.
Yeah,
I'm so sad, I'm crying. And I'm like, dude, I knocked on a fucking poster vagina and got an alert called on me. Like, that's the kind of games these are. I'm not taking them seriously ever. Everybody was like, oh, the tears, the misty eyes for these characters. And I'm like, how can you?
Some of
they're absurd clowns in a fucking war zone environment. Like,
the stuff with Snake definitely was sad for me. But the second that Otacon talks, I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Like, stop fucking talking. Like, you're just a fucking nerd. Stop. I don't care anything about you.
My favorite callback, and kept getting called back at points throughout the game, was how bad that little girl Sunny is making eggs. And they just kept going back.
Dude, Otacon
like,
just
leave
says,
her alone, man.
Otacon doesn't care.
Christ.
He just says, you suck,
For
Sonny.
fuck's sake.
It's really funny. I thought that was really funny too.
God, and see, I said it was lacking the charm of the other games. That is true. It didn't have as much. But there was definitely some. And one of them was that Johnny, Shitpants Johnny from, that's a running character throughout the games, whether it's him or his grandfather or whatever.
Yeah.
They made him like a thirst trap dude, hot. Like Brad Pitt, like gorgeous guy.
Yeah.
Shitpants Johnny takes off his mask and you're like, what the fuck? I did not expect like a fucking California supermodel.
Yep.
Under that mask.
Oh yeah.
And he's sitting there like talking to you with this like gorgeous face, and he's got poop in his pants. Oh man.
On the battlefield, in the middle of the battlefield, mind you. Yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
Pretty
and
stuff.
I did find out love can indeed bloom on a battlefield.
Great.
Marriage. There was a marriage. It was great.
Yeah.
Also, Monkey's
pretty badass, man.
Never explained. I love that.
Yeah, but I mean, he's just a badass. Like every time you see him, he's just sitting there smoking a cigarette, and, like being a
drinking a Coke or whatever it is in the game.
Yeah, being a baller, monkey. Yeah. What about the fighting game at the end?
I
hate that shit. What about the fighting game shit at the end? Where the literal fighting game health bars lower down and begin.
Man, that was anticlimactic, dude.
Really? I thought it lived up to it.
I actually love that part.
I love that part. I liked it.
The game is fucking Metal Gear.
But it's
Give me a Metal Gear fight. That should be the climax. The climax of the fucking game should have been
say the series.
A better fucking version of that robot fight that you have right before the end. Because you have two robots fighting, and that was so goddamn awkward and bad. Like, they put these two awesome robots next to each other, and then they put these fucking buildings in the way, so it's so hard to get close and start bashing each other. That's fucking ridiculous. Give me an arena. Put us out on the salt flats of Utah, and let us just bang as fucking Metal Gear versus Metal Gear. That would have been a climax. Not fucking stupid, bad controlling Street Fighter. I thought that was terrible.
I loved it.
Terrible.
I loved it. I thought it lived up to it. With everything you just said, you're gonna absolutely. Well, I don't want to set expectations because I know that sometimes can ruin it for me. I'm excited for you to play Revengeance. I want to see that playthrough for sure.
Well, I'm a fan of Devil May Cry series. Not 2, of course.
That didn't exist.
I'm a fan of the Devil May Cry series, so like, I heard that's the gameplay, and it barely like connects to Metal Gear series at all, like story wise. Not that it would matter, but I'm going to play through the Metal Gear style, like heavy quotes tactical espionage, style games, and then I'll save Revengeance for the last.
Okay, it's definitely a dessert game. If that makes sense. Yeah. and it'll be fun. That'll I don't want to set expectations. I'm excited for you to play it. I'll say that much. So
one last thing I will say that was really, really fun and funny was that during, I would say most of the cutscenes, not all of them, but most of the cutscenes, whatever face camo you were wearing would carry into the cutscenes.
yes,
Man, it was fun to play as Laughing Beauty.
Yep.
Face mask throughout there, like you have this beautiful woman's face. She's like, ugh, war is terrible. I'm gonna have a cigarette. I'm dying. And it was like this beautiful woman with this old snake voice.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
that's great shit. That's great shit. All right, that's Metal Gear Solid 4. That's our show. That's our year. We're done. We're out of here. We'll be back January 1st. Our Game of the Year show. You can go vote once again. I had to think about it. dfgoty.com. You can go vote. We need to make a ruling. The mods and Barry were unable to make a ruling, so they're asking for our input. A lot of people want to add Final Fantasy XIV to best multiplayer opinions. I say no, it didn't come out this year. But then Dragonflight does exist because it did come out this year. So that would need to be added. Rulings, thoughts?
I think that if
Wouldn't
it
it
came
be-
out this year, well, those are both expansions. Those are not games.
So is it eliminated completely because no expansions?
Didn't we used to have didn't we?
I
have
think the rule
discussion about,
was
a best expansion or game, and we decided not to.
I think the rule
Not
for
this
the
year.
Best
Yeah.
expansion or DLC. Yeah. So no, I don't think either should be on the list.
Did we end up doing it? Hold on, I have the list right here.
I don't think we have best expansion DLC. Do
Hold
we?
on. Do we have best ongoing? We do have best ongoing. So that's for the games that didn't come out this
So
year.
ongoing then
That's where Final Fantasy would be.
is where Final Fantasy would be. Yeah. Not
Yeah.
best multiplayer. Okay.
Yeah, multiplayer, like best multiplayer, like the cav or the in parentheses, it should be this year. Came out, released this year.
Okay.
In my opinion.
We'll try to. Yeah, I think people are still going to vote.
Well,
for
let's workshop it.
yeah, I think people are still going to vote for like Valorant or League or Destiny
Focus
or
group it.
whatever games that didn't come out this year, which is fine. It doesn't. It's not
Are those games
ironclad.
in the multiplayer?
I would assume so. I don't know 100%.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, if those games are in, I think then then FF should be in. But if those games that weren't released this year are in there or aren't in there,
Yes.
then,
Someone in chat
yeah,
saying
whatever.
Destiny is in the multiplayer category.
okay, yeah, then Final Fantasy should be too.
Okay. What
Yeah.
about? Okay, now Barry's pinging me. One more question, and then we'll wrap, Barry. What about PC releases for Spider-Man, God of War, and Persona 5 Royale? Are those allowed in all the categories because they came out this
Yes.
year? Okay.
Yeah, I'd say.
As long as they're remakes, not re-releases.
Maybe we should have a best
would say.
port.
I don't. Do we?
It'd be kind of weird. I mean, theoretically, that means you could have like Persona 5 be multiple years. You know?
We could add it just to the community vote if you want to. I think we have too many for the show. I'm worried about time constraints for a 3-hour show. But we could add to the community vote if you want.
It feels weird having a game that may have been already had the potential to already be on the Game of the Year list, be on it, have potential again,
Because of a port.
just because it's a port. Yeah, that's not right. Doesn't feel right.
Remakes,
double dipping.
sure. Re-releases, no. Or ports.
Yeah.
All right, Barry.
Yeah, because I mean,
Add a category for port. Good luck sourcing out what's port and what's not. It said categories. It's all right, Barry. You're not busy. That's it. Let's do some shout outs and call it a show.
Okay.
Zeke, go ahead.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Thank you guys for watching. Thank you to Co and JP for being my co-host every day or every week on this wonderfully long-running show. I just recently did an interview. Like, how long have we been doing this show? Holy shit!
Yeah.
Why? The interviewer was like, "Why do you think you stuck together?" I'm like, I'm not sure. I don't know why they kept me around, but I'm so glad to be here every week. I really do. I look forward to this. My name is Ezekiel III. You can find me @/Ezekiel_III on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. and Ezekiel the Third, all spelled out, on Instagram and TikTok. I would love to give you a link tree, but I'm not allowed to anymore.
Banned.
Nope.
Removed. Get out of here.
Boop.
Off
Get
the
out of
show.
here. Yeah, I will be streaming. Tuesday I will be back to High on Life. We're gonna probably start that stream by watching the Tammy and the T-Rex. It's about an hour and a half long, and we're gonna watch it with the commercials in because there is a YouTube cut with the commercials in. So we'll probably start off the day with that, and then finish by playing, the actual game. But tomorrow I have a role-playing show called the 100 Club that is at 1 p.m. Pacific, and it's Cowboy Bebop inspired, like spacey Scum and Villainy kind of a RPG. So if you want to check that out, that's tomorrow on twitch.tv/tablestory. Otherwise, just check me out on Zeke3.tv. That's all I got. Thanks for watching.
Is that a link tree? Because if so, I have to delete this VOD. Zeke.
What?
What?
Zeke3.tv?
Yeah. Does that?
It's a mirror.
To where?
It just takes you to Twitch.
Okay, good. All right. I had to ask. Co. Hope you feel better. Sorry about all the coughing. You still sound a little sick, man.
I'm sick. I'm getting sick again. This is a new sickness.
Look, you gotta.
I know. It's been fun. It's been fun. I got all sorts of like air testers and mold checks and like did the whole 9 yards, and everything's clear. It's just kids, man. It's freaking kids. I've got the kid crud, but Anyway, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you, JP and Zeke, as always. I am probably going to be doing more Dark and Darker tonight. We've got a kind of a drought of games for the next couple weeks, so I think we're going to be revisiting some stuff and visiting some new stuff. I still have never played Warhammer 40K Space Marine, the first one, and we got to get ready for the second one.
Nice.
So I think we're going to be checking out Warhammer 40K Space Marine, maybe starting up our Life is Strange charity run, maybe starting up Baldur's Gate 1, as we need to do Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. We got a lot of stuff coming up, more Dark and Darker, maybe checking out Vulcanoids, got to finish Crisis Core. So yeah, hope to see you guys there. We've got a lot of fun games to play, and you guys then?
Awesome stuff.
Yeah, shit. Throw me a message when you're doing Dark and Darker, buddy.
Yeah, man, we'll do.
Yeah.
Don't throw me one.
Not salty, eh?
I had to, sorry. Thanks to both of you and everyone for another great year. We're off next week. We'll be back in 2023. That'll be our Game of the Year show here on DF. It's been a blast. A lot of good stuff. Can't wait to talk about and see where we all rank and rate all of the games, specifically Elden Ring and God of War. Very curious how that's going to break down. We'll find out together January 1st, 1 p.m. Eastern for the Game of the Year show. We'll also throw in the community vote. Once again, dfgoty.com for all of that. I think I need to go. I haven't eaten yet today, and I need to go do that. So I'm going to take the rest of the afternoon off. I'll be back later tonight, probably around the time that Co goes offline for some PJ and PJs, which is like my competitive outing here on Twitch, so that I can get some hours logged, but also play all the competitive games that I want to while not being on the mainstream. In terms of what we got coming up, probably some more Midnight Suns. We're doing another sponsored stream for them tomorrow night, so we'll be finishing up that. In the same boat as Co in terms of next couple weeks are a little dry, so we'll see where we go. Luckily, Midnight Suns is about a 90-hour game, and I'm only about 30 or 40 in, so we'll keep trucking along with that, doing some PJ and PJ stuff. And then on Wednesdays, we've got, at least for this next week, taking next week after that off, but we've got Last Call for Adventure, which is our weekly tabletop show with myself, Jesse Cox, Gassy Mexican, Ammunition, and DM at That Bronze Girl. We're getting ready to wrap up with Crew 1. Crew 2 will start, we're thinking, midway through January with a brand new cast of people. Bringing in their characters into our world should be fun. You can check out lastcallforadventure.com for all of that. That's it for the show. Thank you guys so much. Oh, and also you can check us out on podcast for any of the stuff we do. Spotify, iTunes, Google Music, all that stuff, Drop Frames, MCU Crew, Last Call, we're all there. Appreciate those that do. That's it. Thank you guys. I'll see you in 2 weeks. We're out of here.
Yes, indeed.
Bye-bye. Have a good one.